All right, let's jump right into this explainer. Today, we're unpacking what is basically a modern technological arms race. Advanced AI chips have completely transformed, going from this niche research field to the absolute center of global competition. The battle lines are drawn, and the future is quite literally being redefined right now. You know, when we think of strategic resources, we usually think of liquid pumped from the ground, right? But forget about oil for a second. Today, the most valuable resource on the planet is actually manufactured on these incredibly tiny silicone wafers. Silicone chips are, without a doubt, the new oil. They are the critical infrastructure fueling our entire 21st century economy. And the barrier to entry here? It's just staggering. I mean, to train these massive frontier AI models, you can't just hook up a powerful computer and call it a day. You physically have to wire tens of thousands of GPUs together. And they are processing trillions of calculations every single second. Trillions! So, to make sense of this massive global chessboard, we're going to look at 5 key areas. First, the new global resource. Then, the tech monopolies. Next, Superpowers Collide, followed by the global ripple effect. And finally, the future of AI computing.
Kicking things off with Section 1, the new global resource.
Okay, so AI demands a ridiculous amount of computational muscle. And that muscle comes from AI accelerators, or GPUs. The big difference here is that traditional chips solve complex tasks sequentially, one after the other. But GPUs, they are designed to solve thousands of simpler math problems all at the exact same time. That parallel processing is basically the lifeblood of neural networks.
Now, you might be asking, why does this matter so much? Well, because whoever manufactures these chips basically holds the keys to the future. We're talking about powering major breakthroughs in healthcare, autonomous driving, complex finance, and vital cybersecurity. Honestly, leading in AI hardware just means leading the world economy.
Which brings us right to Section 2, the tech monopolies.
It is actually wild to think about how NVIDIA leveraged its roots as a gaming graphics company to become the dominant AI supplier in the world. But it definitely wasn't an accident. They built this highly specialized software ecosystem called CUDA, which essentially locked developers into their hardware. From there, they expanded into data centers and just perfectly positioned themselves for this massive AI explosion.
But here's the massive catch. NVIDIA doesn't actually physically build these chips themselves. The entire global supply chain has this fragile, almost scary choke point. It relies almost entirely on just a few fabrication facilities in Taiwan, led mostly by TSMC. We're talking about manufacturing that requires atomic-level precision. So the world's most critical infrastructure is hanging on just a handful of highly specialized factories.
Moving on to Section 3, Superpowers Collide, US versus China.
So looking at the geopolitics here, on one side, you have the United States fighting to maintain its computing leadership. They are doing this through heavy domestic investments and really tight export controls on advanced chips and equipment. And on the flip side, China is responding with massive domestic funding of their own, aggressively accelerating semiconductor research so they can completely bypass foreign dependence. It is an incredibly high-stakes technological standoff.
Let's look at how this spreads in Section 4, the global ripple effect.
Because this standoff between the US and China, it's creating massive opportunities for rising powers. Take India, for example. We're seeing them aggressively expand their semiconductor policies and pour heavy investments into AI infrastructure. By strengthening their own design and manufacturing capabilities, they're really positioning themselves to become an indispensable player in this totally reorganized global supply chain.
And this ripple effect absolutely transforms national defense, too. These AI chips are basically the new backbone of the military. They drive rapid intelligence analysis, autonomous drones, satellite imaging, and advanced cybersecurity. So semiconductor leadership isn't just some commercial tech issue anymore. It's a top-tier geopolitical priority for modern militaries everywhere. Finally, let's wrap up with Section 5, the future of AI computing. The reality is, no single nation is going to easily dominate this space overnight. Doing so requires years and years of deep research, extremely rare materials, and these highly specialized machines that cost hundreds of millions of dollars each. Toss in some global talent shortages, and you quickly realize that overcoming these manufacturing complexities takes a staggering amount of capital and intense global coordination.
So this AI chip war really is the ultimate intersection of technology, economics, and national security. How it plays out is going to fundamentally shape global innovation for decades to come. So I'll leave you with this. As technology and geopolitical power become completely intertwined, who do you think will ultimately lead the digital world? Thanks for diving into this explainer with me.